Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
Episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
Well, I thought we'd go ahead and talk a little bit about esports. And so usually it's J&J Sports, but today we're J&J Sports.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about your soccer podcast, Jordy?
Yeah, for sure. So, me and two other guys, it's called No Hay Arquero. We do a specifically soccer podcast where we go into detail, all the top leagues in the world. You got the American League, the Major League Soccer. You got the Premier League, which is England's top league, Serie A, Italy's top league, Spanish League, La Liga. So we just go into detail into all the leagues, the Mexican League as well, right? Because one of our co-hosts is Mexican, so he's very knowledgeable in the Mexican League. So we just talk about the different leagues around the world every week.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, everybody go ahead and definitely check that podcast out.
Oh yeah, link will be in the description.
Appreciate it.
And then let's chat about video games in general. Are y'all sports gamers, and what are your favorites?
I'll let you know, man.
For sure, yeah. So, obviously the outside of the FIFA thing, I don't want to give you the same old boring answer. I play a lot of MLB The Show. I'm a big fan of MLB The Show. I think it's probably my favorite sports game outside of FIFA. Yeah, I'd go MLB The Show.
Yeah. My favorite games, like I said, sport wise, I'm always Madden. It's Madden. I do a little FIFA here and there just for fun, you know what I mean? Just to bring back them old memories. But no, for sure Madden though. Those two will be the competition ones.
Yeah, if I'm not playing Madden, then it's Mortal Kombat, which I guess that could probably be considered a sports game, right? Because it's a fighting
It's
game.
fighting, yeah,
Pretty much,
technically.
yeah. It's energy, yeah.
This kind of brings us to the second question. What is esports?
Yeah, esports is basically, it's video games, but at a much more intense competitive level, where you have a player or you have a team going up against another player or another team and just you play for tournament winnings, you play for prize money, you play for, pride or whatever the case may be, but you're in a competitive setting, it's no longer just playing for fun, you're in a competitive setting, like you train for this, you have a set schedule. And yeah, it's completely different. It's like, real sports, but, virtually.
Got you. Okay, great. So each player, each player is playing online with their own individual player, and y'all kind of they just add them in.
No, but that is an esport as well. Like,
Okay.
It's called pro clubs.
Okay.
It's called pro clubs, right? So it's 11 on 11, and everybody has their own player, and they play, defense or offense or midfield, whatever the case may be. So that's a category as well, for sure.
Okay.
So you could also do that. Yeah.
So you were involved with the Honduran esports team and then later the Dynamo. You want to tell us about some of your time there?
Yeah, for sure. So I started competing in 2019, and I was kind of just trying to figure out how to get into the league because, like I said earlier, you have the American, soccer league, which is Major League Soccer, but they also have their virtual league, their FIFA league, which is the EMLS. That's what they call it. I don't know if you guys could see like the patch. Show you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So you see how it says EMLS on there? Yeah. So it's like the virtual league for Major League Soccer. And at the time, the Dynamo had their player. His name was Kim Amito. But the year after, he actually left to the Chicago Fire, which is another team in the MLS. So there was a spot opening. And they actually contacted me. I guess they found me through my social media, because I would constantly post like tournament results. You don't have to be in a team to compete in online tournaments. You could just compete and rank up, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You could be nobody and just work your way up, and have people ask about you on the leaderboards, and they'll see you and they'll be like, "All right, yo, who is this guy?"
Yeah.
So I guess that's how they found me, and they looked me up. They saw I was a Houston native, and they wanted to hear more about my story. Got like a little interview like through Zoom, kind of like this, and they heard my story, they liked it, and yeah, I was able to get that contract.
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking at FIFA games and it looks like there's been over 40 FIFA games released in general.
Mhm.
But was it discontinued because in like 2022? What happened with that?
Yeah, so it used to be called FIFA. But don't worry, they still release it every year. So it's kind of like 2K and Madden. Every year, every year, every year, every year, there's a new game. And I guess like they changed it to FC. I don't know if they lost licensing with FIFA, the organization, the soccer organization FIFA. I'm not too sure what happened there, but the game itself just ended up changing its name to FC, which stands for Football Club. So now it's just EA Sports FC, and it's no longer EA Sports FIFA. So they still release it every year, but they just changed the name of the game franchise.
Got you. Probably a company switch.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Copyright or end of contract, something like that. So they just changed the name.
So that's the current go-to soccer video game then.
Yeah, EA Sports FC 25. It's the latest one.
Yeah, and I know like these games are released every year. I mean, Madden, for example, sometimes I feel compelled to buy it, and if I don't start playing it immediately, I feel like you're not getting your most out of it because it's like, I've seen the internet call it a $60 roster update. What are y'all's thoughts?
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, they can't go any more graphic than what it is. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Just an update fee.
Yeah, I think pretty much for the most part, I agree because like there's only so much you can do and so many new features that you can add, but it's the same players for the most part, same graphics. I mean, obviously, maybe there's some small things in the gameplay that they'll fix up, like, oh, quarterbacks are too overpowered. We got to nerf the quarterbacks, make their throws less accurate in the game or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do something like that between years. But in terms of features like Ultimate Team, career mode, and franchise, things like that, like there's only so much they can change, right? So for
Yeah.
the most part, yes, it's kind of just like a reskin, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. They just add like any of the new players that have been drafted, really. And
Mhm.
if they took more time between releases, they'd probably have a better result with their games.
Yeah.
And so everything is pretty much a like yearly thing now for fans, these games. Does it feel like everything is a subscription now?
Yeah, pretty much at that point because you paying for a same service subscription every month. Yeah, it gets to that point. You know what I mean? Once, especially if you're really tied into it, if you really play, and yeah,
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree for sure. I mean, because even in games like 2K, you see like season passes,
yeah,
and these season passes you get exclusive, cosmetics like new shoes or a card on like my team or something like that. Like, and so yeah, everything feels like a subscription for sure. But I mean, you do get stuff out of it. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's not like in the old days where you would just put in the game and just start playing. Now you even got to download the game, like,
yeah,
which is crazy. You used to just be able to pop the disc in and just play it.
right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they're even doing that with like the pro games now, hitting Netflix and Amazon and all that. But
Yeah.
so y'all let us know what you think about that in the comments. And up next, we've got soccer. So we discussed like the teams, but I thought it'd be interesting to maybe kind of look into the players. Do you have any current or former favorite players?
Yeah, I mean, current favorite, I'd have to go Lamine Yamal. He's a young forward from Barcelona. Also plays in the Spanish national team. 17 years old, very young player. But man, he's lighting it up right now. So I'd have to go with him.
Yeah, I was looking at like lists of all the top five soccer players, and what I came up with, kind of mixing and matching a few different lists, was number five, Ronaldo Nazario, number
Oh
four,
yeah.
Luka Modric, number three, David Beckham, number two, Cristiano Ronaldo, and number one is Lionel Messi.
Okay.
So, who would be considered the MJ or Tom Brady of soccer?
It'd have to be Messi. If I had to pick one, the MJ of soccer, it'd have to be Messi for sure.
Yeah, for me, I have to say Messi or Ronaldo. One of those two, I
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah, I saw something like Messi had scored 672 goals for the team that he had played for.
Right.
Like,
Like that year or just like in
At-
total?
In total, like at
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
his career there at that club. Yeah,
Wow.
but right now he's at Inter Miami, so he's actually playing here in our league, in the American League, in the Major League.
Yeah.
And actually the Miami is coming to Houston um on the 2nd of March. So they'll be playing the Houston Dynamo here in our stadium. So that's gonna be pretty exciting, man. I'm gonna try and get my hands on some tickets so I can go to that. That's it's always really cool to be able to see the MJ of soccer in
Yeah,
person. So
definitely.
yeah, and this also kind of got me thinking about soccer movies in general. I thought of like three soccer movies that are kind of ones that I'm familiar with. And please let me know if y'all have heard of these. There's She's the Man from 2006, and that was Amanda Bynes and also the breakout role of Channing Tatum. Kicking and Screaming in 2005, and Will Ferrell makes that a really fun movie. And
Yeah.
then The Big Green from 1995. I know a lot of these are kind of old, but there's Willie Nelson's soundtrack and Steve Guttenberg make The Big Green a pretty fun movie. And they also have that guy from The Sandlot, the place catcher from that in that movie. Have y'all heard of those movies?
I actually have not. I've watched different soccer movies like Shaolin Soccer. It's like this funny one where like they end up like playing soccer in a weird way, like and then the goal series like goal one, goal two, and goal three, which is like a movie about a guy that goes to Europe with little money, little experience, but he works his way to the top, basically to sum it up.
Yeah. I think I heard of Kicking and Screaming. I think of Will Ferrell. I believe I watched it like a while back. But that and then like I don't yeah, I know the movie Rio.
Oh
Love
yeah, yeah.
movie and stuff like that. That kind of got me into the Brazil teams and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So that's what really got me started.
Yeah, I think we definitely need more soccer movies. There aren't enough that people can just kind of name, offhand like that. And considering soccer is the biggest sport on the planet, 3.5 billion fans worldwide. And how much do y'all think that TV coverage in the World Cup helped continue the dominance of soccer's popularity?
Uh,
Yeah, I mean like definitely like all over the world. Obviously like in the United States it's still got a long way to go in my opinion before it can catch up to the NFL, the MLB
yeah,
and the NBA. But I think, you know, a lot of it depends on the US men's soccer team. If they can go far in this next World Cup, especially seeing how many eyes are going to be on them because it's the World Cup, they
yeah,
can really make the sport, shine and grow in the States.
definitely. Like for me, soccer will be like that fourth sport that's just like top. They're definitely top five of sports in general. I feel like football, basketball, baseball, and then soccer. So
Yeah.
that's my deal. Yeah.
And then looking at some other popular sports, cricket is the second most popular sport on the planet, and that's 2.5 billion fans. So soccer has it by a full billion, and
Wow.
that's popular in Asia, Australia, and the United Kingdom. But so, do either of you believe soccer will ever get passed up as the most popular, or is it going to stay at number one?
I think it'll forever stay number one just because how easy it is to pick up and how easy it is to play.
Yeah.
And just how many leagues they have around the world.
Right.
It's not like the NFL. The NFL, other leagues aren't as high quality. Like I'm sure there's you have the Canadian Football League, for example, but it's nowhere near as high quality as the NFL. And so
Right.
like the thing with soccer is you have so many quality leagues around the world. You have the Italian league, you have the Spanish league, Brazilian league, I mean Argentinian league with passionate fans, and yeah, like I see it being number one for a long time.
Yeah. Because it's when you think about it, those are larger bodies of area, more people way than United States anyway. So yeah, it's gonna always be like that.
Yeah, it does seem like soccer is really only growing in popularity. And the fact that it has cricket by a whole billion, I don't think any sport's ever going to catch up. But y'all let us know in the comments if y'all enjoy esports and who your top 5 soccer players are. And Jordy, did you want to take a chance to talk about like where people can find you?
Yeah, for sure. So you personally, you can find me on Twitter at Jordy Reyes 34, Instagram Jordy Reyes 9. You could also, like I said, follow our podcast page, No I Arcaro, on all platforms, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. So that's where you can find me and my podcast.
Sounds good, man. Well, we definitely appreciate you for joining our show this morning. Like I said, you and your podcast guests are always they can come anytime, man. We'll definitely love to come on you guys' show.
Hey, for sure, man. Likewise, man. You guys are always welcome. I appreciate you guys having me.
No
And,
problem.
you guys are always welcome.
Appreciate that, y'all. But his link will be in the description for his podcast. But that's the end of ours for the day. I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James Jerwoods.
And y'all just
I'm
got
Jordy.
NJ Sports. Oh, my bad. JJ.
Yeah, you good.
Episode 92, man. We'll see y'all later.